Anyway, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Every time a game gets delayed, it seems that they get further away from their initial vision. And while there are a lot of titles that have released over the past few years that have pushed identity politics, that have chosen body types A and B or 1 and 2, that have added pronouns to games.
1 and 2 is strong.
It seems that Xbox's upcoming first-person fantasy RPG Avowed is going to do the same exact thing. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community.
Hold on, when was this made? 7 days ago. This was before Avowed, the game dev, freaked out, by the way. Yeah.
In my live streams and consider support.
This is before the guy like absolutely shit the bed and basically took a big fat dump on any chance this game had to succeed. Now people are definitely gonna think about not buying them as opposed to not buying it because it's shit.
Through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now I can't say I'm very shocked to hear that developers are going out of their way to add things like pronouns to their games. Absolutely pointless additions. You should just have a male and a female. It should be that simple. But now developer Obsidian Entertainment and publisher
Wait, hold on. Does this say degeneracy? Bro, this is so cringe! Upcoming first-person fantasy RPG, Avowed features pronouns and attempt to normalize degeneracy. Oh, here we go. This should be good.
Entertainment and publisher Xbox Game Studios' upcoming first-person fantasy RPG Avowed will feature pronouns. Now, this is happening a lot in video games right now when companies are making games and they're focused more on providing identity politics than a genuinely amazing high-quality experience. Look at Dragon Age the Veilguard. The character creator was Mental Illness Simulator. You got to choose pronouns. You could add top surgery scars when you got in the game. You add characters like...
And it did not fit the game. That's the biggest thing. And an hour in, it starts talking about your character if you want to be trans or not. That was the problem with the game. Not to top it off, there was a really mid-game to top it off.
Tosh, who were not really characters
Fucking Tosh,
that were
man.
well written. They simply existed.
And if you don't like Tosh, then you're a transphobe.
In order to push a specific narrative, to add terms like
gays,
non-binary into the game, which is absurd. I don't want modern terminology in my video games, especially when we're talking about a dragon fantasy game. I don't want to hear about transgender, non-binary. I shouldn't have to pick my pronouns, but we're seeing on character sheets that yes, characters do feature, at least in this menu, pronouns. The inclusion of pronouns into the game was discovered after YouTuber Force Gaming shared an early review of the game after he was allowed to play around 20 hours of it. Now, first of all, as a content creator myself, I think that this is ridiculous. I do not think that it should be this way. Content creators, sure, could get early play testing. If
everybody should be able to play test, not just like people who they handpick and choose, man. You can't do this shit where it's like, oh, you can play it, but if you're not a games journalist from the people that I want to have it. Wait, are we lagging? Oh yeah, we are lagging. Sorry about that. What was I going with this? Yeah, you can't handpick and choose like who you want to have publish their opinion. It's so cringe. Let everybody do it.
They are at some sort of event, like a PAX, for example, and there are booths, but I do not think content creators should be able to get full access to a game, especially this early. It's not even releasing anytime soon, and it has been delayed multiple times, but during his review while discussing the leveling system, he showed off some of the game's menus where it clearly identifies his character with he, him pronouns, so it looks pretty standard. There's an abilities, character, inventory, journal, and map tabs, but it says that he is a level 6. It shows the experience needed for the next level, war hero, and then he/him. And you would imagine that if they are including pronouns, there's not just going to be he/him and she/her. There's most likely...
Again, I genuinely don't care about the whole fucking pronoun thing, but it just has to like kind of like make sense and stop inserting itself as like a way to appease people that need to have this in the game. Baldur's Gate 3 is not about being gay, trans, or straight. It's about your player character having the option to fuck anything and everyone that they want in a video game. That's what I'm trying to fucking understand. It doesn't, nobody says, oh, are you gay with like, what's his name, with fucking Gale? No, they just say, hey, are you having sex with Gale? Ha ha! It doesn't matter.
Also going to be a they/them, and who knows what else they're going to add to this. Now, I have to be honest, I think that this game looks really rough around the edges, judging by the more recent gameplay.
I saw the screenshots
that we've seen. It really does not look like a super high quality experience. Now, because it is Obsidian, I have higher expectations, but their last giant release, The Outer Worlds, wasn't my favorite game either. I felt that that was also pretty okay. I didn't think that it was terrible, don't get me wrong. I just felt like it was quite an underwhelming experience, and it truly did not do anything super unique that we hadn't seen.
And that's the problem. People who like to basically nitpick and pick apart games that come out, they will find something like this and stick to it and say that it's dog shit because it happens a lot. Correlation does not equal causation, but when you find something like this repeatedly and they focus on it instead of actually making a video game good, people will start to nitpick every single game that have pronouns in them. That's the problem. Make a good game with he and pronouns, no one would give a fuck. Nobody would say anything, they just play the game. You'd have like a niche group of people being like, oh my god, I can put a penis on my chick, aka Baldur's Gate. I remember the first day when that came out, people freaked the fuck out, but a majority of them were drowned out by people actually enjoying the game, even if they were, oh, I don't care about the whole gay stuff, I just want to play my game.
In a game before, and Avowed to me looks similar to something like Skyrim in terms of the magic system and the first.
Absolutely not. This game does not look like Skyrim. I saw pictures of it like a couple of days ago. Skyrim from 2000. By the way, Skyrim came out in 2009? Why are we comparing? No offense, I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying she's comparing the systems, which is fine. I'm gonna say, like, why are you comparing Skyrim to this game 15 years later? 2011, sorry, I'm cooked. Yeah. Like, what are we doing, man?
But I just don't think that it looks like a super high quality experience. Maybe once it comes out, the pronouns really won't matter, and it will be an absolutely fantastic video game. Though, seeing this already is pretty worrying because this is the direction that the mainstream industry has headed in over the past couple of years, pushing things like gender ideology when people just want really great, high quality experiences. But to top that,
and this is a AAA game, by the way. This cost a pretty penny to make.
That off, we never had heard anything like this was going to be featured in the game, though now it is, and it's a little bit suspicious because Microsoft, Xbox Game Studios' parent company.
What the fuck am I reading? The company releases Gaming for Everyone's product inclusion framework. This is what I have an issue with. What steps have you taken to ensure characters are represented respectfully and authentically? Oh my fucking god, this is why Tosh is an insufferable fucking... I'm not gonna say it. Fucking stupid bitch who is unlikable in writing because there's nothing you can do to, like, say, hey, go fuck yourself, Tosh. Because they don't want to feel uncomfortable in, like, having characters that have conflict. It's so stale. It's so boring. It's so stupid. I hate this. Are you unnecessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your code or design? What does that even mean? into your code? Are you saying that, like, women have debuffs in video games? I've never played a video game where a woman had a negative stat debuff coded into the fucking game. Why is this even a question? Am I fucking stupid? Look, I'll read it again. Are you unnecessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your code or design? What the fuck? Why is this a question? Are you reinforcing any negative gender stereotypes? What are we smoking?
Company obviously has made it abundantly clear it wants to normalize this. The company released its Gaming for Everyone's product inclusion framework earlier this year, where it instructs developers to answer a set of questions. Some of these questions include, what steps have you taken to ensure
do they have exaggerated body proportions? This is why the Dragon Age sliders don't let your boobs or ass be bigger than an A cup, bro. This is exactly why. Is this checklist? No, absolutely, yes, I think it's a checklist. Inclusion network. Framework. When the story allows, you show male characters who display a range of emotions, including joy, sadness, and vulnerability. What are we smoking? There are so many games from 20 years ago where grown men cry. Like, in the video game. What? Is this like a... What is this about?
their characters are represented respectfully and authentically? Are you reinforcing any negative gender stereotypes? Are you unnecessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your...
Are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that fits their tasks? Oh, my brain hurts. Oh my god. You can't have hot female characters that have hot outfits because it doesn't fit what they're doing. What if I'm a woman in a video game? Like, I'm putting myself into the shoes of, like, being a badass heroine. Why can't I have exaggerated features of my ass and booba if I'm, like, a superhero? It doesn't fit my job. Like, I don't need to wear, like, a suit like that, but... What about male characters? Oh, nobody gives a fuck about those. What do you mean? I'd want to wear hot, like, you know, skin-tight latex suits. If it doesn't hurt me, like... Because it's offensive! Shut up.
Or code or design? Are you creating playable female characters that are equal in skill and ability to their male peers? Are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that's realistic, that fits the...
What about men that, like, are shirtless and they're running around with their big muscles out and it makes, like, middle-aged women horny? Yeah. Like, what about that? That doesn't seem like it's the appropriate clothing. I've seen it.
Their tasks? Do they have exaggerated body proportions? When the story allows, do you show male characters who display a full range of emotions, including joy, sadness, and vulnerability, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Developers should not need companies to hold their hands. If a developer and a team of creatives make something that they feel confident in, that should be the end of the story. But because Microsoft decided to release this inclusion framework earlier this year, it's led a lot of people to question, what were the games like before developers actually had to take these pieces of information, these rules, into consideration?
Oh my god, man. I just keep thinking back to the emotion thing with men. Does that mean that The Witcher, like, if they make a Witcher game, and because Geralt is, like, a cold-hearted fucking motherfucker who has no emotions, because that's the whole point of him being a fucking Witcher, because that's what happens to them when they undergo a transformation, does he have to have emotions suddenly, even though that's literally not part of the lore, and it goes against the book lore, and it goes against, like, the whole fundamental story of being a cold-hearted, like, fucking killer? Like, again, I cannot reiterate this enough. I don't give a frick about the whole pronoun shit. This is what gets my fucking, like, I start losing my fucking shit. This is a double standard. Absolutely.
I personally hate hearing this, that developers cannot tell.
Imagine what Witcher would be like if they had to enforce this kind of shit on male characters because Geralt doesn't show emotions. Because they don't understand the premise of the story, because it's a fucking massive company that's making a video game and they don't give a fuck about the source material. Be a trash game? Yeah!
The story they want, because they are being controlled by their parent companies and by higher ups at companies. If a developer feels confident in the content that they've made, that should be at the end of the story. That should be what they're releasing, and that's just not the state of the industry currently. So like I said, take all of this with a grain of salt, but be mindful of the fact that there are pronouns on character tabs and character sheets, and one would assume if there's he/him, there's going to be she/her and they/them. Otherwise, if there was two options, why would you even add them in the first place? And that also means that it could seep into the gameplay itself, that there could be very annoying.
Potentially. It's not always. Like, I'm pretty sure in old Morrowind games, they did have stat buffs and debuffs, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I remember my brother playing him and laughing, but I could be wrong.
Characters who only exist to push a specific narrative, like Tosh, for example. Who doesn't want a Tosh in their game? These devs will ask, and then we will cringe visibly, because that's the way that they think. Why not add one or two characters that are extremely annoying? So, like I usually say, do not pre-order. Wait until the game has released, or you've heard reviews release from your favorite content creators. Even if you still trust Access Media, if you have a YouTuber that you really like, maybe an X user who does reviews, wait until the game has fully released to decide.
Women, less strength and endurance, more willpower and agility. So it's not really a debuff, it's more like a balancing thing. Is that not, like, fair? I think that adds character. It's not even a debuff, it's a balance thing. Yeah, I remember reading about that now. Yeah, I remember my brother talking about it a long time ago. Yeah, like, what? I don't think women have all the willpower, but...
whether or not you want to purchase this. And hey, while I've loved some of the games Obsidian has made in the past, I'm staying very skeptical just because of the state of the industry. So I will be keeping my eye on this situation. If there are any updates, of course, I will post them on social media or make a follow-up video. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
And people call me a fucking clickbaiter. This article title is insane. But you know what's sad? I wouldn't have known about this if this fucking article didn't have this in it. This framework bullshit. That's why I think you should have both sides yapping. Even fucking bullshit, fucking stupid, bad faith, fucking on both sides. Like, left, right wing, up, down wing. I think that you should be able to talk because some things are still true. This is real. The fucking framework shit, having BlackRock fucking force people to suck on their titty and do what they need to do in order to get funding. Modern journalism is a joke. Yeah, because it has to make money, and you know, real journalism doesn't make money.